With Bleach's second cour thoroughly underway, it is high past time for me to once again talk about this masterpiece of an arc. The good, the bad, the funny, and the downright soul-crushing WTF moments like Kubo. Why? I've never held such a visceral hatred for an animal in my entire life. Somebody needs to just yeet that dog straight into the Hell Arc.
Because that's where he belongs.
But, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself here. That's like episode 4 content, so let me just take a couple steps back and start on a more positive note. This course so far has really kept its stride since episode 1. There have been some moments I haven't really been a big fan of, but overall, I can't knock even a single episode. Pierriot is delivering like I knew they would, and now that I'm talking about the animation studio itself, I would be remiss if I didn't now talk about the animation itself. Nothing super crazy has happened yet so far in terms of animation. Like, there hasn't been a Yuha Bak versus Yamamoto or an Unohana versus Kenpachi type of fight or sequence that just knocks everybody's socks off yet. I think we're going to get there soon. It's just a matter of time, but so far the animation has stayed at a really consistent quality, and it's elevating episode to episode. Like, it keeps getting better as we progress. And I gotta say, on the consistency element, as someone that has grown up watching Dragon Ball Z and then continued with Dragon Ball Super, I really appreciate it when studios actually give animators the time to work on the show and make the characters stay on model. And for me, the consistency of the animation is almost as, if not more important than those 10 out of 10 mind-blowing visual extravaganzas. Because if those are the only sequences that you're getting, like, you get those 10 out of 10 moments and they look really good, but then the rest of the show just looks like, I mean, for lack of a better word here, shit, then yikes. But what's also been good is seeing the captains get back against the Sturmreiter. Still don't really know how to say that word, but that's neither here nor there. And Hitsugaya especially. But I gotta say, before all that happens, I found it pretty hilarious that the captains who lost their Bankai apparently trained to find ways to make themselves more effective without it, or just to make up for the fact that they didn't have said Bankai. And for a moment, the anime actually made it seem like the training had paid off. You know, they were puffing their chests out like, okay, we got these strategies, we got these plans, we got these new techniques, and then like a couple minutes later, they're like, well, we need Bankai, because this shit ain't working, bro. But they eventually do get their Bankais back, thanks to the efforts of Urahara and Mayuri. Well, really just thanks to Urahara, but I don't think he would have been able to distribute those little, I don't know the names of them, but they look kind of like little tiny hockey pucks. But those things, if you touch them, they hollify your Bankai, returning it back to you, because, you know, Quincy x Hollow is a no-go. But yeah, as I said before, Kisuke, I don't think he would have been able to transport those little hockey pucks without Mayuri and his shadowless room, which, by the way, definitely still has shadows in it. But at the end of the day, that's neither here nor there, because once the pucks had been touched, it's Captain Action time. Now, Soifan, when she got her Bankai back, incredible. It was like Oppenheimer up in here, bro. But with Hitsugaya, we're talking about a whole different thing. It's unfortunate that he didn't get to use his Holified Bankai against Bass B. I feel like that visually could have been incredible, but the way he took down Kang more than made up for it. Hitsugaya's nonchalant attitude while tanking those attacks, okay? Hyorimaru returning, the Bankai looking better than it ever has before, the soundtrack going off, and on top of all of that, bro, that decisive freeze. So he really had his time to shine, but then he like passed out and somebody walked up to his unconscious body? I don't know who it was, but if it is who I think it might be, yikes. But anyhow, even though Hitsugaya's Holified Bankai showing was really something, it was immediately surpassed by Sajin's. And how could it not? I mean, on spectacle alone, that man takes not just the best Bankai showcase, but his episode as a whole is the best one by far of the Cour.
So yeah, this is most definitely not true anymore, because I just watched episode 6. This is me from the future, by the way, and yeah, that episode takes the cake for sure. And we'll talk about that later, because like I said before, this is me in the future, so this is post-commentary, so yeah, we'll get to that at the end of the video. For right now, just enjoy the rest of what I'm talking about. Okay, bye. Till then.
The Heart of the Wolf, which is what I believe it's called, has everything you could ever want in an episode of Bleach. Sajin having that almost human transformation and basically being invincible, mixed with the final slash tied in with the music, it's just the Bankai in general, how sick it looks. And the speech as well, muy perfecto. However, it would be complete and total neglect on my part if I gave all this praise for the episode and the Bankai without actually talking about the CGI of said Bankai, because that was one of the things I and many people were worried about for this episode. I know Pierriot is basically hit or miss when it comes to that department, and I really can't fault anyone who thinks that the CGI looks bad. It's all a matter of opinion, and in my opinion, I actually think the opposite. I think it looks, I don't want to say good, but fine. Some shots look amazing, others not so much, so it's fine. I liked it. Now, before we get to the the bad section, we gotta talk about Renji and how that boy done come a long way. He done came out the gutters, bro. He finally has torn off the fraud status, and I don't want to say he GOAT status, but he making his way there. Cause that episode where he reveals the new Bankai and he does what 2 friggin' captains couldn't? Not even just 2 captains. Cause Superstar bodied 5 people. 5 important side characters that man took out. And Renji showed up like a beast with that sick-ass cloak and those goggles and just did what he needed to do. Now, I will say, even though the episode is cool and the animation for when he takes down Superstar is incredible, I like his older Bankai better. Like, it looks really cool. I loved that Bankai, and to see it just kind of be turned into like an exoskeleton, and it's really just like 2 big arms, or 1 big arm and then a sword. Like, it's just not as cool as his older Bankai, for me. But with all that said, I think it's finally time to move on to the bad section. Now with this section, there are really only 2 things to talk about, because I only really have 2 gripes so far. The first one being with what ended up happening to Sajin. Was it a good end to his character? Sure. The hypocritical nature of his entire character in this Cour was written and executed so excellently. But as I said at the beginning of this video, that mangy mutt that tricked him into giving away his heart needs to get sent straight down below, cause yuck. That dog sucks, bro. It's like, what is the benefit in that? What if Yu Habak wins, okay? What do you think, you're gonna be safe? He's gonna find you. Is it not in your best interest to have Sajin stay alive? What, do you think everybody else got it? He was immortal. He's one of the best chances that they have. And you're gonna kill him off early after he takes out Bambiette? She was basically worthless, okay? That was not a good opponent for him to take out. He was immortal. And what is he even gonna do for the rest of this arc, bro? What's his special move? Nut biting? Rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace to a real one. And you know what? While I'm handing out RIPs to Sajin, I might as well give one to the rest of the Vizards, cause y'all be sucking this arc. But Shinji, yeah, you take the cake, cause what was that? How is Pierriot gonna give the Shikai a better showing than the Bankai? It's Bankai! And yes, okay, I know the Shikai was actually shown in the manga. I'm fully aware of that. The Bankai was something added after the fact for the fans. And while I'm grateful that we even got to see his Bankai fully animated, my thing is, if you're going to show it off, go all out. How does Bleach Brave Souls do a better job at showing off Shinji's Bankai than Pierriot? It is I, from the future again, here to talk about episode 6, aka the Rukia episode. I'm gonna keep this nice, simple, short, and sweet, so here we go. This episode, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought I was gonna be terrified throughout almost the entire episode. I didn't really get that feeling, but there were a couple moments for me that were, like, genuinely terrifying. You know that scene, like, before Rukia sees F, their hands like touch, it like crawls up on her arm. Ugh. No thank you. And there were a couple other moments like that. And F, as a villain, I mean, the voice actor was going off, bro. It's the same voice actor that voices Kirito and Inosuke, so, bro. What else is he gonna do except for go off? That scream? My goodness. And speaking of screams, Rukia! The voice acting was goated this episode, and so was the overall animation as well. But right after you get the Rukia scream, you then get the return of Byakuya Kuchiki, who dunks on F. Because F the entire episode was like, oh, I want Byakuya's Bankai, I need it back. And he's like, oh my goodness, is this your Bankai? When Kuchiki finally shows up and he's like, bro, you've been using my Bankai. You should know what my Bankai looks like. This is actually just my Shikai. Byakuya, the episode reinforced why I love Byakuya so much, why he's always gonna be in my top 5, dude. And Rukia, she climbing up the ladder, okay? Because she released it, like, Byakuya was using his Shikai, but in this episode, we saw Rukia's Bankai, and it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen from this series. Like, look at that, bro. Beautiful. And the song that they played while she was doing her Bankai on F? My goodness. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. It was a great episode. Can't wait for the next one. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.